everybody. Hey, Judith, hey, Stefan, Robert, Alan. It's good to see everyone here. We're all over the world. It's a lovely thing. We're all going to just sit here and play some ukulele. Oh, someone else in the UK here. Up north, the other end of the island for me. Probably even cooler up there, right? Give everyone just a couple minutes to pull on in before we get here. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Joe. Hey, Mario. I knew New York would be checking in eventually here. So I've got today going nice. It doesn't matter whether you're on high G or low G. We're all going to be talking about the same thing today. West London, Southwest. I'm South Central. I'm close to you. Good to see Pennsylvania, my other home. Minneapolis, there's a good one. Oh, just one more minute, then we'll get rolling. Delaware. Stevie, how you doing? Good to see you. Again, I decided since it's a live stream, I'm actually going to split my time between two ukes today, but they both have moons, so it's okay. Actually, when we start to do chords, I'm going to swap back to high G because I love this song on high G so much, and we'll get to talk about some little chord melody stuff and all that jazz. But trying to break in the new uke now, so got to give it some playing time, right? Austin, Texas, a place I have not been in probably 10 years, unfortunately. I do love Austin. A beautiful city. This is my new one. This came from Japan, from Ancestors Ukuleles. This was just made for me. And I have to tell you, the craziest thing about it is it's actually lighter than my Wunderkammer, despite being bigger. This feels like a piece of paper in my hands. It's really crazy. Well, it's good to see everyone. And let's get going because we got a lot of work to do. There's a link at the top of the chat there. If you want to grab the PDF, I highly recommend not looking at the PDF, but it's nice to remember all of the things that we're going to be going over today after we sign off the live stream. I've written down everything that we're going to talk about today over there, so you won't be left in the dark and feel like you need to remember everything. But today I want you to focus really on playing the instrument. That's what we're going to do, is play some ukulele. So we're going to play this little tune from 1934. This is an Irving Mills tune, one of my absolute favorite tunes. Probably the recording most people know about with this one is the Benny Goodman one. With his sextet, he recorded it with the big band as well, but the sextet recording with Lionel Hampton on vibes is really the one that everyone sort of knows about. And it goes a little bit something like this. It's called Moonglow. It must have been Moonglow, way up in the blue. It must have been Moonglow that led me straight to you. I still hear you saying, dear one, hold me fast. But I keep on praying, dear Lord, please let this last. We seem to flow right through the air. This heavenly song seem to come from everywhere. And now that there's Moonglow way up in the blue, I'll always remember that Moonglow gave me. We seem to flow right through the air. Oh, those heavenly songs seem to come from everywhere. Now that there's Moonglow way up in the blue, I'll always remember that Moonglow gave me you. That Moonglow gave me you. That Moonglow gave me you. So we're going to be playing exactly like that by the end of the hour. The real question when we go to learn a new tune is what do we actually have to learn when we're talking about learning jazz standards? Because yes, you can go look up charts, and I have plenty of them on my website that you can go learn the exact chord voicings that I play, and that'll get you part of the way there. But the more important thing is actually learning the song. So that's what we're going to do today, is to give you a firm foundation in playing Moonglow so that you can then go down the line and learn everything that I just played and know where it all came from and know how to apply it to other songs yourself. So the first thing we always do in the ukulele world when we want to play a tune, right, is we go to Google and we type in ukulele chords for Moonglow. And we go find the chords, and there's lots of great chord charts out there, I'm sure. But the chords aren't the most important part of a song, are they? The melody is the most important part of the song. What I'm singing, what Benny Goodman would be playing on clarinet, that's what you walk around humming to yourself. You don't hum the chords to yourself. So I recommend before you go and type in what are the chords to a tune, learn the melody. And we're going to do it on the uke today, but learning the melody can also mean learning to sing it. Just sing along with recordings of the song, because that's going to help inform the harmony that we're applying to the song, or the chords that are going on underneath that melody. And the reason I love Moonglow is because, actually, I'm just going to demonstrate. I'm going to play the A section for you of it. There's two different sections to this tune, an A section that repeats twice, and then there's a bridge or a B section, and then it comes right back to the A section again. This is an A form. So our first little bit sounds like this. If I'm putting down an E minor chord, watch my hand as I play through the entire A section of Moonglow. Can all of us play an E minor chord? Because if so, we can figure out this melody really fast without needing tabs, without needing anything. We can get this going in the instrument. Again, tuning doesn't matter because we're not playing the G string right now. So everyone put down this E minor chord for me. And it's going to be open, 4, 3, 2. Our regular open position E minor that we play all the time. Now let's learn our notes first, figure out what picking pattern we need to use to get the sound out for these first couple bars. And then we'll come back and we're going to learn the melody and the rhythm of the melody together. So we're going to be starting out. I'm going to refer to the names of the strings. Everything is placed within this E minor chord that we have on the instrument. So we're going to pluck C, E, C, E, A, A. All right, so we're going to go back and forth between the C and E strings twice, and then pluck the A string twice. Let's try that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, E, C, E, A, A. This isn't quite getting the rhythm for us. We're getting our hand used to what motions it needs to do to get us through this melody. Let's try that again without time, just not worrying about the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 strikes on the A string. 2, 3, 4. Back to the C string. C, E, C, E, A. 3. Again. C, E, C, E, A. 3. Again. C, E, C, E, A. That's our basic motif that's going to build the A section of the tune. So let's put the rhythm behind this now and figure out where it needs to go. Where do we have to place this in the bar to make this melody work? And it comes in on the end of 2. We're not going to count it out here and worry about what it would look like on a sheet of music. We're going to feel this. So I'm going to count it in, and we're going to count 1, 2, and we're going to come in on the end. So here we go. It's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. All right, so you're hearing that rhythm in there? We're coming in on 2. So we're going to feel beat 2 and then bounce off of it and do our little pattern here. 1. So we're coming C, E, C, E, A, all over this E minor chord right now. So those of you who just joined us, just put down your E minor chord, follow along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Good. How are we feeling about that in the chat? We got that first little motif down? Good, because it's going to crop up again. So let's get the second phrase in here. It goes like this. That's right. It's the same exact thing. We're just only going to attack the A string once. All right. So we're going to start out, and it's going to sound like this. Same exact rhythm. We're coming in on the end of 2, or thinking that we hear that downbeat of 2, and then we're just bouncing off of it. That's the key here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Here's our second 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And we just hold that one out. This is halfway through the A section. This is a quarter of the tune already. So let's loop these first 4 measures of the tune. So again, we're starting on the end of 2, on the second 8th note of 2. But I want you to just try to feel that downbeat and bounce off of it. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2 strikes on the A string. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1 strike on the A string. 2, 3. Back to the top. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Just going back on this same little motif the entire time. And in fact, we actually just played the first 6 measures. We only have 2 measures of the A section left to learn. And this is our most important part of the song. This is the rhythmic motif that makes Moonglow, Moonglow. And it's all on 1 note, which is G. So if we're still on our E minor chord here, it's the 3rd fret of our E string. And this time we're not going to come in on the end of 2. We're going to come in on the end of 1. So I want you to listen to this. I'm going to loop this little pattern a few times and try either playing along with me or even just clapping or tapping your foot along with this rhythm. So we're feeling beat 1 and bouncing off of beat 1 now. And this is the end of the A section. This is our turnaround section. It's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 4, 1. 4, 1. And that the lyrics there are, that moonglow gave me you. That moonglow gave me you. So So you can sing that along with it. So let's put that G down. You don't even have to hold down the entire E minor chord here. Just any G if you're playing, actually, you can do this on the low G too. It doesn't matter what tuning you're in. You can play this just on the G string. If you don't want to worry about fingering a chord right now, just play an open G is fine. But we're going to loop this little 2-measure phrase here, just the end of the A section of Moonglow. And then we'll be able to put it all together and we'll have half the song learned already. So we're playing just the note G. We're bouncing off of beat 1. And if you fall off the train, just hop right back on when we loop around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That Moonglow gave me you for 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 1. That Moonglow gave me you. It's the most important little rhythmic motif to just get stuck in your head as you're going along on this, because this is almost the refrain to the song. You think of a pop tune with a chorus in it. This little harmonic and melodic motif that goes on here, because we get right? We get that little sound in there, and that's all contained in the melody, and we're going to learn it when we learn the chords too. So this is so important. So now let's put the entire A section together, and this will take a few times. Some of you have probably never heard this song or haven't heard it in years, maybe. So we're going to try to get this together in just a matter of minutes. We're putting down that E minor chord, and the first 3 phrases bounce off of the end of 2, and then that final one, we get, ooh, that Moonglow gave me you. That last little bit comes on the end of 1. So we just need to remember where to put our phrases is the important thing. Even if you don't have all of the notes, the rhythm is always more important than the notes. Let's try this from the top. So we're putting down our E minor chord. Remember, we're just going E, C, A, A. All right? Coming on the end of 2. And I'm going to slow it down a little bit, and we're going to loop this A section. So again, if you fall off, hop right back on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 3, 4, 1, 2. 1 strike on the A string. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2 strikes on the A string. 2 comes the end of 1. 4, 1. Da, 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 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1. One last time. 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1. All right, now what we're going to do, we're going to keep playing the A section here, but I'm going to put the chords in for a moment so you can hear what's happening on that downbeat. Again, we're going to come back and we're going to play the chords in a little bit after we get the B section of the tune. We're going to get the whole melody, and then we're going to worry about the chords because the melody is the most important thing in the world. So I'm going to play the downbeats. You're still playing exactly the same thing. I'm going to play those little melody notes with you as well. So don't worry about what my hands are doing because I'm going to be playing the chords as well. But now we'll be able to feel what the rhythm section is doing while you're taking the horn part. You're the clarinet player. You're Benny Goodman right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 2. Here's our turnaround. Rest. All G's. To the top. Here's our turnaround. Bounce off 1. So we're starting to get through the A section, right? This takes a little bit of time. If I were just learning this tune for the first time, I would probably take just a good half hour learning this little A section. It's a beautiful little melody, and you want it to be sort of mindless to play. You want it to be up here, but also down here in your fingers. And then you can start to play with the melody. You know, this is also the key to starting to improvise over top of a tune, is really knowing the melody of the song. If you can play the melody without thinking about it and then start to improvise around the melody, you'll find a lot more coherent ideas than saying starting with just applying scales to the chords that we're playing. Like, yes, I could play C major, C harmonic minor, and then I could play G over top of these chords here. But it'd be a lot easier to think about. We know that if we're starting to improvise, this entire A section is spaced around an E minor chord, isn't it? So couldn't we play just all the notes in our E minor chord and be happy about it and make sounds that work for us? So we have this little A section going. And it's okay if you don't have it memorized already, something to go back and learn. Let's look at the melody, because there's only a second melody line here. And most of this is also contained in our E minor chord. We're only throwing in a few notes, I think 4 notes in the entire song outside of our E minor chord. So our bridge sounds like this. I'm going to play the melody for you, and then we'll learn it. So it sounds like this. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 1, 2. That's our melody on here. Lots of easy ones. We're starting up on the 5th fret of our A string. When you're doing this, you see where my fingers are right now? Because I'm going to come down chromatically, or 1 fret at a time, down to this B on the 2nd fret. So I'm setting up my fingers ready to go already. There's no need for me to do this on the strings. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have everything set up so I can just lift up my fingers, get a nice, smooth legato sound. That's always our goal here. So we're going to hold this first one for 5 beats. And then we're going to do 2 strikes on the next couple. So it's going to sound like this. Here's our first melodic phrase, which is half of the B section. I'll count it in and play it. Then we'll do it together. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2. That's the whole phrase. Let's try it. 1. Up on the 5th fret of your A string. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2. And we just hold that one out. Let's go back to it. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 5th fret. 2, 3, 4, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2. Done. All right. And if you want something that I find really helps when I'm learning melodies, is to sing along with it. Even if I'm singing the fret numbers or the names of the notes, that's just as good. Or if you use solfege, use solfege. Vocalizing something to help relate what's going on the instrument helps so much in internalizing and memorizing things. So I'm going to try to say the numbers of the frets so that y'all can have them while I sing this. 1, 2 on 5. 5, 4, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm going to sing the letter names of the notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, D, C sharp, C, B. All right. One more time. 1, 2, 3 up to the 5th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. All right, you ready to learn our second phrase? Second half of the bridge. Here we go. The first bit sounds like this because there's 2 phrases in the second part. Here's our first one. It's tough. Watch closely. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our first phrase. 4 strikes on the B on the 2nd fret, starting right on beat 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3. All right, now let's go back to the beginning of the bridge, tack that phrase on, and then we'll get our final phrase. on the bridge. So we're up on the 5th fret. We're doing that chromatic run, coming down 1 fret at a time, holding this 5th out, and we're doing 5, 4, 3, 2. And we're going to do that little rhythm on just the 2nd fret on our B. Here we go. 1, 2, 3 on the 5th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay there. 3, 4. Here comes our next one. 2, 3, and. All right, let's try from the top of the bridge again. Up to the 5th fret. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2. Land on that B. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Here it comes. Da 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 da. 3, 4, 1, 2. And now let's get our final thing. This is coming in on beat 3 of the next measure. So we're going to be holding that B out, that 2nd fret. We're going to go 1, 2. This is the hardest lick in the entire tune. This is it. So we're going to start on the 1st fret of our C string. This is a C sharp. We're going to outline an A9th chord, which we'll see is very important in the harmony of the song in a moment. We're going to do this. All right. So we're going to play that note, and then we're going to play up our E minor chord. So we're just going to build that E minor chord. So we go 1, 4, 3 on the E string, 2 on the A string. But what I'm thinking here is, yes, I'm playing the C sharp, then I'm just putting down my E minor chord that I've been using for the entire tune. So we're coming in on beat 3. This lick's going to sound like this. 1, 2. And we walk it down 2, 1, open. So we're going to try this little phrase. This is coming in on beat 3. So I'm going to count you in 2, and then we're going to do this lick. This will take a couple times. So if we get this, got the whole melody to the tune. Here we go. Coming in on beat 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1st fret is C string, E minor. 1st fret, open. 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 1st fret. Build that E minor. 1, open. 2, 3. Again, 4, 1, 2, 1st fret. All right, so let's put the B down. I saw Bachman note in the comments, much easier on high G. Yes, it is, but I highly recommend learning it like this. So we're not associating with just how it lays out on the instrument, but laying out with the actual notes, and we're seeing the intervals of the chord that are in here. Because when we play it on high G, which when I play chord melody, I actually do play it exactly like that. It's the difference of thinking musically and thinking just about ukulele. Both are really great ways to learn it, and you should learn it both ways. When you're starting out, try to learn melodies in a linear fashion like this, and not using those wonderful gifts that high G gives to us every single day. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, because high G does make life a lot easier. So we're going to go back, and we're going to play the 2nd half of the bridge. So we're going to start on those repeated Bs on the 2nd fret. 4, 1, 2. All right, let's try just that together. Then we'll add the 1st half of the bridge, then with the melody to the whole tune. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 2nd fret of the A string. 3, 4, 1, 2. 1st fret of the C string. Walk it down. Again, 2, 3, 4. 2nd fret of the A string. 3, 4, 1, 2. Down to that C sharp. Let's see if we can get the whole bridge now. There's a lot to remember in the bridge. As I said, if you click that link that's pinned to the top, this is all tabbed out for you, so you can look at it that way if you forget any of this after the live stream. I'm a big fan of just learning things by ear, going back and forth like this. It'll help you remember things a lot better than staring at a page and just saying, I need to put my fingers here. We're thinking about what's going on. We're singing. We're actually playing the tune as we go. So let's go up to the 5th fret of our A string. We're doing that little walk down, right? And then we have the 2 licks that we just played. I'll try my best to walk you through it as we play it. Then we're going to try the melody to the whole tune. Then we got some chords to do. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. On the 5th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2. We hang out here. 3, 4, 1, 2. On the 2nd fret, still. 3, 4. Down to the C string, 1st fret. Build that E minor and walk it down. All right. Let's try it one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 5th fret of the A string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Walk it down to 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Still here. 3, 4, 1, 2. 1st fret. Walk it down. And now we have the game of, do we remember the A section now? What's the A section? It's all big old E minor chord, right? We go back to the top of the tune and we're going to try this just so we have a play along on the live stream that you can come back to with just the melody here. So you can come back to minute 31 of the live stream and play just the melody along with me. And I'm not going to call everything out, but I'm going to get a nice close up of my hands here so you can see me while I'm playing, because that's what's important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2. Here's our lick. 4, 1. We repeat. 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4. Our lick. Up to the 5th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk it down. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hang out. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay here. 3, 4, 1, 2. C sharp. Walk it down. We're back to the A section. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1. That's our melody to Moonglow. If we're learning a tune, that's the first thing we want to do. And really, the best first thing we can do is turn on a recording of the song and just learn to sing along with it. Then come and learn the melody. Something like this, you might be able to pick out yourself on the instrument. Even if you're not too far into your musical journey, see how limited the notes are in here? And starting to train your ear really helps. And in the long run, makes playing an instrument a lot more enjoyable if you can relate what you're doing in your voice to what's going on your instrument. Now I'm going to swap over to high G as we get to some chords here, because I really love how Moonglow sounds on high G uke. It kind of fits perfectly in the key of G. For chord melody, has some beautiful voicings. So we need to learn our chords now. Now we know that a lot of this is based around E minor. So these chords are going to have a lot of E's, G's, and B's in them throughout. And there might be a few chords in here that you might not have played before. You might have played by other names, which is something we're going to run across quite a lot. And the first 2 chords of this song, depending on the recording that you're listening to, can be very different. For Magic Ukulele Club members watching, there's going to be a whole lesson this month on just those first 2 chords and everything that we can do with them, because it's really very, very flexible. But what we're going to learn today are the original Irving Mills changes that are on the early recordings of the song that he wrote in the sheet music this is how he said the song goes. The composer said the song goes like this. That doesn't mean that it needs to be, because these aren't the changes most people play these days. They'll still work as long as you got a good bass player behind you. So we get to start this out. We're going to be changing every single measure. So it's going to be 4 strums on each chord until we get to that little bit right there. All right, our first chord. Let's take a deep breath. I'm going to have a sip of tea before we talk about this first chord. You ready? Our first chord is C6. That's it. That's our first measure of the song, is C6. We're going to strum that 4 times. And in some recordings, it's an A minor, but we don't get to make that decision as uke players. Our bass player gets to make that decision. All right. And our second chord, we're going to play an augmented shape. You may have seen this one before. We're going to call it a C minor major 7, because that's what chord this actually is. We're going from C to C minor. And what that is open 3, 3, 2. Again, it doesn't matter what tuning you're on. This works on high or low G. I prefer it here. So open 3, 3, 2. This is our second chord. 4 strums on each one. You want to make sure, of course, you can use whatever finger you want, but you'll see as we go along, certain fingerings make more sense. So I'm using my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the C string, the ring finger right next to it, and then the 1st fret up here. It's because we're going to go to a G chord next. And we're going to use that ring finger as a little pivot point. But first, we need to do our leap of faith here, which is C6 to C minor major 7th. You have a whole bar of C6 to think about where this next chord's coming from. Open 3, 3, 2. And because of most of the chords in the song, this is probably going to be the least familiar to the vast majority of you. So we're going to take these first 2 measures and just loop them for a minute. Get used to what it feels like to go from C6 to C minor major 7th, or an augmented chord. So we're going open 4 strums to open 3, 3, 2, 4 strums. All right. And we're just going to loop this for a minute. Kind of hang out with it. 1, 2, 3, 4. C6. Set up that augmented chord. Open 3, 3, 2. Back to open. C minor major 7. It's a mouthful. Open. C minor major 7. Open. C 6th. Or A minor 7th. C minor major 7. That's why it doesn't matter what chords are called. They can be a lot of different things. C 6th. To me, this is actually the hardest change in the entire tune. You get this? You're good. So we got our first 2 chords. So if we're on that C minor major 7, let's keep that down right now. Open 3, 3, 2. We're going to go to a G major chord. I want you to make sure that ring finger, you see how I'm playing this, stays right where it is. Of course, if another fingering works better for you, that's okay too. But I recommend trying this one. Do this little Fred Astaire tap dance around, get to a standard G major chord. Open 2, 3, 2, right? All right, so let's try those first 3 chords. We're going C6, C minor major 7 to G. 4 strums on each. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. C minor major 7 to G. Now stop on that G. We're going to get our next chord here. If we take our first finger, just slide it down 1 fret. Open 1, 3, 2. Now I'm usually going to lift up my ring finger here and play open 1, open 2. But I'm going to think of it as doing that, of getting rid of this. Because I want to think about the connection between these 2 chords. Here's my G, and then we're going to A9 as the next chord. But if you see this on the sheet of paper, you may be inclined to hop to that next chord, right? And we always want to think about what are those moves to get us there, because that's going to set us up to take less time between each chord. When we're bouncing to each new chord as an individual entity, we're going to leave space in between chords. But if we're thinking about the movements that get us there, because the voice leading this tune is just so beautiful. There's this beautiful descending bass line in here. It's actually the same descending bass line you hear at the beginning of Blue Skies. You hear it in the middle of Autumn Leaves as well. We get this. Miles Davis's Bye Bye Blackbird, the chord changes in there. We have this same idiomatic bass line going on. And it's just so beautiful. So we get minor major 7 to G, and then slide the first finger down. You can keep the ring finger down here for the A9. I'm going to lift it up. It sounds much better. You get the full chord, except for the A. We don't need an A and an A9 chord. That's silly. So let me try these first 4 chords I'm going to play for you, just so you can hear. And what I want you to do right now is watch my left hand as I play this. All right? See what transitions I'm actually making between the chords. We're just going to hop onto this next one, C minor major 7 to G. Slide the first finger back. Lift up that ring finger. All right, let's try that a couple times together. Starting on C6. 1, 2, 3, 4. C6. C minor major 7. Over to G. Leaving that ring finger in place. Slide that first finger back for A9. Let's try that again. First 4 bars of the tune, a quarter of the way through the song. 1, 2, 3, all open. C minor major 7 to G, leaving the ring finger in place. Bringing that first finger on back, A9. Ready for the second half of the tune here? I apologize, I'm getting over a cold right now, so my throat's a little dry. So we're going for our second half. This is the first 4 bars that we have now. We're going to A minor 7th. That's it. We're going to play C6th again, but this time we're going to call it A minor 7th. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So the second line, our second phrase in here is actually going to start as the same as the first. Remember that our melody is the same in this section. We get C6, C minor major 7, G to A9, A minor 7th. Melody's the same. We're going to call this a D13 chord because we're feeling really fancy today. But you can also call this a D6th chord. We're just going to go straight across the 5th fret. What we're doing is we're playing a D chord with an added B to it. You can see when I play this on low G uke, I add in the C, which is the 7th of it. And I play it like this, which gives it a nice dominant sound. You can add in the E as well, have the 9th. Get this real tense sound because I want it to feel like it's resolving. But on high G uke, it's really hard to play 13th chords that have that dominant sound. There's only really one good voicing for it. So it depends where we are on the instrument. We'd need to be all the way up here. So we're not going to be able to really do a proper dominant 13th chord. So we're playing straight across the 5th fret, the 2nd fret, straight across the 2nd fret. So our second phrase is A minor 7th, straight across the 2nd fret. Good. Let's try just that change. 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor 7th, D13. Let's try it again. Back to A minor 7th, D13, or D6th if you want. Start from the top. First 6 bars. It's an 8 measure A section. So we got most of this. Then we just have to learn the chords for that lick. So let's see if we get our walk down. We're starting on C6. Our second chord is C minor major 7. Open 3, 3, 2. I'll call them out as we go. 1, 2, 3. C6th. 2, 3, 4. C minor major 7. G, leaving that ring finger down. Slide that first finger back for A9. Open for A minor 7th. D13. Slide into if you want to feel fancy. Let's do that one more time before we add the last bit in. 1, 2, 3, 4. C6, C minor major 7, G, A9, A minor 7, D13. And let's get our little walk down lick in here. So we are in the key of G in this song. Although it starts on a C chord, we're starting on the 4 chord of the tune, or the 2 chord, depending on the version that you listen to. But you hear how when we hit that G, that sounds like home, right? That C6, that A minor 7 sound kind of open, foreboding. They're leading somewhere. When we get to the G, it says, hey, we have arrived. So at the end of the A section, we're going to land on a G as well. And I'm going to show you something fun here, because remember, our melody note is G. And as someone had pointed out earlier, very easy to play this on high G uke. Your melody is actually right here. So I've set up this arrangement. So we're using this high G string, but we're also doubling it here. So that G really rings out in these voicings. And that way we hear the melody coming through. So we're going to set up our G major chord. All right, here's our G chord. Now what we're going to do, everyone take your G chord. We're going to take these two fingers, the first finger and second finger. We're going to slide them back one fret, leaving the ring finger in place. What we're doing is we're playing a G diminished chord here, but we're using what I call the Hawaiian D7th principle here, which is this is an E flat 7th chord is actually what we're playing without an E flat in it, much as when we play Hawaiian D7th, we're playing a D7th chord without a D, but we have the sound of it by using that diminished triad over top. So we're playing open 1, 3, 1. And this might feel awkward because most of you have probably never played this voicing before. But this is not too much of a stretch for you. I promise it's not that bad. But you got to get used to this. You want to practice this little yoga move right here because it's going to fly by in the tune. And then we're going to lift up those first two fingers. We're going to play an A minor 7th in there. Again, you can leave this G down if you want. Back to that E flat, sliding in to the G. All right. And I'll show you in 1 minute an alternate way that you can play this as well, which gets the point across and is just a little bit easier. Remember, our rhythm for this little tag is coming in on the end of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Da, 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 dee, boo, da. All right, so we're going to have a fast change in here. So really slowly, this is what we're doing. We're going G, E flat twice, A minor, E flat, G. All right, so let's just walk through this a couple times really slowly. We don't have to get the rhythm perfect right now. We're going to get our fingers moving around this little progression. And I'll show you that alternate way to play it in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 on G. Slide it back, E flat 7 twice, A minor 7th open, E flat 7 to G. And I think of that E flat 7 is like I'm sliding into my G chord. They're not two separate chords. They're just a little passing way that I can get to my G chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Slide it back twice, A minor 7th, E flat 7 G. All right, that last E flat 7 G is gonna go fast to our rhythm. Da 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 dee doo da. Let's try it again. 2, 3, 4, 1. G, E flat 7 twice. Open, E flat 7 G. Again. 1, G, A minor 7, E flat 7 G. Again. 1. If you're going to practice one lick in this tune, practice that. Now, if you want an easier way to play this, we can omit that and just play G fully diminished 7th. So you can play this. If that E flat 7 is tough for you, which I know that some people it is, play this. Play G6, open 2, open 2. And then instead of the E flat, we play G diminished, just slide it back, open. So you're just sliding this shape. We're omitting this stretch here. So it'll sound like this. And you get to say that you're playing cooler harmony because you're playing G6 to G diminished, 7th to A minor, 7th to G diminished, 7th back to G6. Instead of this boring G, E flat 7, right? It's all the same. And you'll hear this turnaround played in a lot of different ways by different bands, much like the first 2 measures of the tune. This is something that is played around with harmonically a lot because the melody is just a G. So you can harmonize this with any chord that has a G in it, and any chord can have a G in it. Any chord. It doesn't matter. We can always think of this as an extension. So you can get really crazy with this. You know, there's some more modern versions of the tune where this harmony is treated in an odd way. So let's try the entire A section of the tune now. See if we can get that little ending lick in there. So we're starting on our C6. I'll walk you through it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open. C minor major 7 open. 3, 3, 2. Down to G. You can also sub your G6 here. Slide that first finger back for A9. A minor 7th, all open. D13, straight across the 2nd fret. Here's our lick. On G, wait for it. Back to C6, all open. Get another shot at it. C minor major 7. G. Slide the 1st finger back for A9. A minor 7th, all open. D13. And rest. All right, so those are chords to the A section. Nice and easy. It's a beautiful little progression to learn. See, there's a lot of different ways we can do that. Over on the Magic Ukulele Club this month, I know there's a lot of members in the chat here. For those of you who aren't over on the Magic Ukulele Club, these are the kind of lessons we do every single week. So if you like this, come on over. We're going to be studying Moonglow all month. So we'll learn all of the chords I was playing in the beginning. We have high G and low G chord melody arrangements. I have also rearranged Charlie Shaver's trumpet solo from the Billie Holiday recording. I've put that note for note on uke. So that's our soloing lesson for the month, which I'm really excited about. It's a fun one. And I think it's really in the spirit of Moonglow because it's all about the rhythm. It's not just about playing fancy notes or anything like that. It's about playing cool rhythm. So there are so many different chords that you can play on this. We'll see there's voicings up and down the neck. You can play all different sorts of substitutions to get the sound of this. It's a very pliable tune and what we can do for it. So we're going to go over the bridge in a moment, but join us over there. We also have Victoria coming on to do a strum and drum guest workshop this month. We have guest workshops just about every month as well from some of the best teachers in the world. So you don't have to listen to me all the time. Although, I just love teaching. This is so much fun for me. So join us over there. If you're not a member, if you are a member, you're awesome. Keep on rocking. And let's get this B section under our fingers. The B section is the easy part. So B section starts on G7th. Open, 2, 1, 2. And this is going to be for 8 strums or 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to go to E7th. And now we're going to play that A9 chord that we've already played. But I want to show you a way to get to this. So here's our E7th chord. If you're coming to your A9, you can actually just leave this common tone here in an E7th chord. We're already playing the B that's in the A9 chord. So why not just bring this middle finger on back, right? And get there. I really, really like doing that. Of course, you can hop this first finger over as well. I would highly recommend not playing the B in the A9 chord with anything else because that's just creating unnecessary movement. So either do this or slide your middle finger back. Always look at those connections between the chords. It's really important. So we get A9 and we got our D13, E flat, 7. Same one we were playing before. No new chords here. And then Hawaiian D7 because we're going to incorporate some of the melody. Again, if the E flat 7, any place that's too hard for you, sub G diminished 7. Open 1, open 1. This works really well in this tune. And you'll hear a lot of people don't actually play the E flat 7. This G diminished 7 is just as popular. But the original change is an E flat 7. So let's learn what it should be, right? There's no right answers in jazz. Have fun with it. All right, so let's try the B section a couple times. It's nice and easy. And then we're going to try the entire tune together. Starting on G7. 1, 2, 3, 4. G7. Over to E7th. Bring it to A9. Leave that ring finger in place. Here's a fast change. D13 straight across the 2nd fret. E flat 7. Hawaiian D7. One more time on the B section. B section is not so bad, right? And if we can conquer those changes, getting used to that E flat 7 earlier in the tune, you'll be okay with this part too. All right, so let's try it from the G7th one more time. Then we're getting the whole tune. 1, 2, 3, 4. over to E7. A9. D13. E flat 7, D7. All right, let's try the entire tune. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the chord melody, because the chord melody that we're going to learn this month is based around these same exact chord changes. You barely have to change any of the chord voicings, just a little bit in the B section, and you'll have the entire chord melody, and you already know the melody. This will be nice and easy. And the chord melody is a little bit different for high and low G. I'm going to do it on high because I prefer it on high G. All right, so we're from the top. I'm going to call out the chords and try to play the chord melody as we go along. We'll see how this goes. Starting with C6, all open. 1, 2, 3, 4. C minor major 7 to G. Slide it back for A9. All open for A minor 7. D13. Here's our lick. G, E flat 7, A minor 7, E flat 7, G. And repeat. All open. C minor major 7 to G. A9. All open. A minor 7. D13. And our lick again. G, E flat 7, A minor, E flat 7, G. Here's our bridge. G7. Part where the chord melody changed. E7. But now we're back in the same spot, aren't we? A9. D13, E flat 7, D7. Now we're back to the A section, all open. And G. A9. A minor 7. D13. And our lick. Good. If you made it through the whole tune, great. If you made it through one A section, just as good. Members, we'll have a play along up this coming week, as well as an additional lesson on this tune and the backing track, of course, that we have every month. So you'll be able to practice along with this a whole lot. It's hard to get an entire tune in a measure in an hour, but the whole point here is we're learning the melody, right? So go back and learn this melody, get it really stuck under your fingers, then come back and get those two different sections. It's just an A section and a B section, 16 measures of music. All right. That's all that we have to learn for this entire tune. All right. And then it's just going to take a little bit of time to internalize things, get things together. As always, first step, go listen to a bunch of versions of this tune. That's what's important. All right. Thank you for hanging out, everyone. And I'll see you all soon. Have a great weekend.